Russia's brave record snowfall. These are fake though. No way. Is he on top of the building? It's a story high? Yo, my boss wasn't lying. He was telling me it was like 8 stories. I was like, oh, you're probably seeing the AI stuff.
А, закрыто? Я хочу, чтобы вы посмотрели уровень снега, в котором похоронена моя машина. Где-то там моя тачка. Очень где-то далеко.
The plot line that's happening in reality right now is very similar to Max Payne's. This is Max Payne IRL. I finished Max Payne 1 and 2, and I gotta say, that story, incredibly written. The subject, it's a really good game. The theme, the end of the world, Ragnarok, gets to Nordic religion, ancient religion. Max Payne. IRL Max Payne. Did I spell Payne right? I did spell it right. Max Payne IRL. So right now we currently have that huge blast of cold coming over here in the US. We have Russia's record. Russia's insane snowfall. We'll stick to the US. Nah. Russia plays a part in Max Payne as well. Because in Max Payne, we have the Russians who are implementing a lot of this ritual shit going on with Ragnarok going on in the whole game. I think that's number 2, really. Number 1, we're dealing with the mob, I think, the Italian mob. Are we? We're dealing with all kinds of syndicates. The first game, the Russians are helping us. I forgot his one name. He's helping us throughout the first game. But we end up finding out in the second game the Russians are corrupt as hell. So I'm gonna try to remember as much as I can. I played it at least twice already. I really like that game. Russia's insane, Snowfall, Winter Storm. And then we have the whole east coast of US. About to hit. About to get hit with the winter storm. We have the US East Coast about to get hit with the winter storm. Probably the one that came from Russia, maybe. Who knows? Who knows where this cold ass weather's coming from? This is where we get into a little bit of some craziness. All right. Move my chair. Okay. So Max Payne in real life. 2026. So this is currently what's going on. In the video game, this is what happened in the video game, Max Payne. So the plot for Max Payne is that there's a cult group, a cult gang, pretty much starting the end of the world, which is called Ragnarok. It's based on the true Ragnarok. We're gonna get into that. The story of Ragnarok. Ragnarok's real story that leads to the end of the world, culminating in the final battle between gods. This is Nordic, right? Yeah, Norse. Norse mythology, religion. Funny how they name it mythology. It's religion. This was a religion. This wasn't fairy tale. We just like to mix up mythology with like fairy tale shit. This was the religion, bruh. Alright. Many people still worship this religion. It's not mythology. So the plot of Max Payne. Cult group, cult gang, gold. Put gold. There's a cult gang. Starting the end of the world. Starting end of the world. Alright, starting the end of the world. How? How do they start? So this cult gang, it was like a satanic one too. They were doing all kinds of crazy rituals and shit. But it was connected to like the Norse religion. Cause Ragnarok, how they sell drugs, selling drugs that made people go insane, driving people mad. And we're gonna get into Max's story as well. It's driving people mad. So it's driving people mad. Insane. And these same drug addicts end up killing Max's wife and child. Baby, by the way. And he was already on the force. He was already on the working on this kind of case. You know, looking for the gang selling these drugs. And so one of the rituals that this gang does, I forgot exactly the plot line and what they exactly did, but they did a ritual, Ragnarok ritual. They performed a ritual to start Ragnarok, the end of the world. They perform ritual. They perform ritual to start Ragnarok. Ragnarok or end of the world. And in Ragnarok, this induces so in Ragnarok in the story, they tell you this in the game too. The end of the world is followed by a cold winter. Starts with the cold winter. With the coldest winter. Or snowfall. So in the story of Ragnarok, the end of the world, it's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be super cold in the end times. Freezing cold is a cataclysmic series of events in Norse mythology that leads to the end of the world. So I'm assuming they have people hooked on the drugs in the game because they need this energy, this negative energy, for the ritual to succeed. So they need to start. They need a mass amounts of chaos for the ritual to activate between gods and giants, resulting in the death of many deities and the rebirth of the world. This sounds very similar to revelations in the Bible of Christianity. The rebirth of the world, the battle between God and the fallen angels, the giants, the Nephilim, who were thrown onto earth, the fallen angels. Sounds very similar. There is a Bible verse that says, like talks about the end times and if it were to happen in the winter. I think in the video game too, they were specifically doing around winter time, the coldest part of the year for the ritual to work. I forget exactly. The winter and the end of times, Matthew 24:6 and Luke 21:5. Hopefully they're right with that. Both discuss the signs of the end times. In Matthew, Jesus warns that no one stone would be left upon the temple. Could we read it, please? The destruction of the temple and the signs of the end times. This is going to be Matthew 24, verses 1. We'll see where it leads to. Let me skim through it really quick. Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him. He asked, "Truly I tell you, no one's everyone will be turned down." Okay. Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings. "Do you see all these things?" he asked. "Truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down." And this is him referring to tearing down the old temple and raising the new, which he is the new temple, his body, his blood, his sacrifice. He is the church, his word and everything, right? Everything he spoke and represented his actions and all that stuff, right? As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. Tell us, they said, when will this happen? And what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age? Jesus answered, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pangs. Some may say, that's kind of cruel. All these things must happen, but the end is still to come. They must happen because we can't forget he gave us free will. He didn't enslave us to him. He gave us free will. This is our will simply causing the end of the world, not God's will. That's why he's saying it's inevitable. You guys are going to destroy yourselves. Nation will rise up against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of the birth pains. Then you'll be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you'll be hated by all nations because of me. At the time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other, and many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. The love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. To show love, love would grow cold. You can kind of see people are really cold. People really don't want to show love. It can come from greed, envy, jealousy, spite because they didn't receive any, so why should they show any? I feel like that's a popular attitude that goes around. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world. So when you're standing next to Holy Bay, the abomination that causes desolation. So when you see standing in the holy place, the abomination that causes desolation, spoken out through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out of the house. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for the pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your flight. So this is what he says. This goes back to the winter, the Max Payne. And the cult group in the video game purposely doing it around the cold winter time. As a way to accelerate and make the cold even worse through the ritual and of course bring the end of the world. Pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on the Sabbath. Oh, so when you run away during the end times, when you flee, pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on the Sabbath, for there will be great distress, equaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again. In those days, if those days had not been cut short, no one would survive, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. At the time, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Messiah, or there he is, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear, perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you ahead of the time. The elect? Okay, that never really struck me till now reading it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear, and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. So I'm assuming the people he elected, like disciples, apostles. This kind of gets me thinking about like Catholicism and how many people pray and worship the saints and seek them for guidance and help rather than seek the Lord and Savior, right? Although many of these people, of course, people take it the wrong way because when you look into these saints, they wouldn't have told these people right now, be like, y'all aren't worshiping Jesus, you're worshiping me. You should be. If you look at their writings, many of them say worship God, worship Jesus Christ, right? But of course, modern day people don't really take it that way. I see that many people. I've had someone explain it to me. They say they see the they see the saints as like lawyers, people to represent you in front of God, rather than going to God Himself, right? Or Jesus. It's just I don't know. That's like my biggest criticism of Catholicism. It's just that part worshiping of saints. I can't do that. I mean, I've done it, asking for their guidance and help. Not necessarily praying to them, but like being like, "Oh, could you tell Jesus? Could you go up and tell?" Because you just assume these people are in heaven with God, right? So it's like, "Oh, God must be busy, so I'm gonna go to the saints and be like, yo, put in this word for me." Seem pretty much it's like sending an email. Is with the way a lot of people would describe it, probably. But I've learned that you can go to Jesus. Like He wants you to go directly to Him. He wants a relationship with you. What broke my heart one time, I had somebody tell me once. They're all like, "Nah, I don't want to bother God. That's why I don't really like praying to Him. I don't want to bother Him. I don't want to bug Him with my problems." And I told that person that's what He wants. He wants a relationship with you. He wants that. He wants to help you. And I was just thinking, man, like some people really go to church and just I don't know, they don't I can't say they don't pay attention. Otherwise, why else would they be going? But sometimes it's just like, are these people even like listening? Or are they just coming to validate themselves and to validate themselves to the people around them and whatever it is, you know? Make themselves feel better. Um, at the end of the day, I could be just as guilty of doing that, you know? In those days have been cut short, no one will survive. Elect, if anyone tells you there he is out in the will. And this again, I just love that he says possibly, if possible, even the elect. Oh, he just means in general elect. Like those in position and power, religiously, governmentally, whatever the hell that is, Lee. Even the elect. But I just instantly thought of like, oh, religious leaders, priests, and all the other stuff too could deceive. It's just a reminder that we all fall short. The only man to have never sinned is Jesus Christ. The only man to have never told a lie was Jesus Christ. He is truth. We're all capable of sinning. Even the saints sinned, you know? If anyone tells you there he is out in the wilderness, do not go out. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. The stars will fall from the sky. There will appear the signs of the man, and all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the man coming out of the clouds of heaven with the power and the great glory. Into heaven. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Okay, this is Luke 21's version. The widow's offering. Let me see if anything mentioned anything about the cold. The end of times and the cold. Teacher, they asked. He said to him, nation will rise against nation, kingdom against nation. But before all this, Jerusalem. Moon and stars. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On earth, nations will be anguished. People will faint from terror. Roaring of the seas, hurricanes, tsunamis. People will faint from terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world. Apprehensive of what is coming on the world. For the heavenly bodies will be shaken. They will see the Son of Man coming in the cloud. Be careful, on your hearts will be weighed down with carousing, drunkenness, and anxieties for life. And that day will come close on you suddenly like a trap, for it will come on those days. Thought I mentioned more. Let's look into more of Ragnarok now. Death of gods, particularly Odin, Thor, and Loki. The death of Balder. The catalyst of Ragnarok is the death of Balder, the beloved god of light. His death is orchestrated by Loki, who tricks Balder's blind brother, Or, into killing him with the mistletoe-tipped arrow, the only thing that can harm Balder. This even plunges Asgard into mourning and sets the stage. So this is where a mistletoe comes from? Kissing under the mistletoe? Fimbulwinter, following Balder's death, a harsh winter known as Fimbulwinter. So this is the winter that happens in Max Payne. Following Balder's death, a harsh winter, known as Fimbulwinter, descends upon the world, lasting for 3 years without summer. This period of despair leads to widespread violence and the breakdown of societal norms as brothers fight against brother. The gathering of forces. As the world descends into chaos, the giants of the frost and fire, led by Loki and other monstrous beings, prepared for battle against gods. This includes the great wolf farer and the serpent. So we see a lot of this in Marvel. The final battle. The climax of Ragnarok occurs on the plains of Vingrid, that the gods and their adversaries clash in the monumental battle. Many gods, including Odin and Thor, meet their fates during this conflict. The world is engulfed in flames and floods, leading to destruction and submersion in water. Despite the catastrophic events, Norse mythology holds that Ragnarok, the world will resurface anew. Surviving gods will meet the two human survivors live in change. Cultural significance. We'll look into that the winter. No. I wanted to go back. Fimbulwinter. Fimbulwinter. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. So this was saying the start of Ragnarok began with the death of somebody. Let's do a little bit more research. League of Legends. Uh, Fimbulwinter. Ecto etymology. Fimbulwinter comes from Old Norse meaning awful mighty winter. The prefix Fimbul, albeit with a largely known means mighty giant, etc. So the literal interpretation is mighty winter. Overview. Fimbulwinter is the harsh winter that precedes the end of the world. Fimbulwinter is 3 successive winters, when snow comes in all directions without any intervening summer. Innumerable wars follow. Never-ending winter. So Max Payne, I'm pretty sure the first game and the second game, year 1, year 2, and I haven't played Max Payne 3, but I'm pretty sure that gets into year 3 of the winter. I need to play that. I need to finish that third one. The end event is described primarily in the Poetic Edda. In the poem Valpersmosmol, Odin poses the question to Valpurnar as to who of mankind will survive the Fimbulwinter. Valpurnar responds that Liftalispalar will survive and that will live in the forest of Hudamin's Hole. The mythology might be related to the volcanic winter of 536, which resulted in a notable drop in temperature across northern Europe. Yeesh. So the mighty cold is coming. Could this be the Fimbulwinter? The end of times? Because this is coming at the strangest time. It is now January. December passed already. This shouldn't have been in December. It's getting colder. There was hail last summer, if I remember correctly, or was it the summer before? In July, I think. It was July, June, that was insane. Hail for real? I don't know. We look at the Max Payne. Ragnarok. Ragnarok. Ragnarok? That's how they speak. Ragnarok was a gothic themed nightclub that served as a drug lab distribution front for Valkyrie. Oh yeah, it was the gang Valkyrie. Valkyrie case, Ragnarok was sold to the mobster Vladimir Lim. So this was the group that was trying to end the world. Also known as either as V or VD, is a designer drug created by the US government in Project Valhalla. Oh yeah, it was the agencies that were fucking distributing. They got into a lot of good ideas like the CIA, the inside job, Project Valhalla, and after the project cancellation, secretly manufactured by Azric Corporation. Valkyrie was originally intended to perform enhancing drug used by military. The substance then became illegal and found itself sold on the black market as a highly addictive recreational drug. Valkyrie colored green is shown to be consumed via injection and is found in syringes. We kind of see modern day, we see the opioid crisis, fentanyl, driving people insane or just dropping dead. A drug driving people insane. We have like K2, bath salts, bunch of crazy shit. Project Valhalla was a pharmaceutical U.S. government military program that studied the effects of Valkyrie on soldiers who were serving in the Gulf War. The project ran from 1991 to 1995, where it was then canceled for unsatisfactory results. The project then went underground when Nicole Horn, that one bitch we had to kill, head of the Arcer Corporation, continued making the drug at Cold Steel in order to study the effects of the drug in urban settings. And then we end up finding out they were doing rituals and shit. It was very crazy. 1998, Max Payne, an employee at the district attorney's office, received a leaked Project Valhalla dossier from Alfred Woden. And sounds like Snowden, right? And although she did not understand the nature of the project from the outset, she and her daughter were soon murdered in the home to prevent the district attorney from finding out about the project. 2001, Max Payne discovers the project and it's linked to his family's murder. Shortly before the destruction of Cold Steel, Max then pursues Horn in order to avenge his family. What? What about the story plotline of ending the world? Hmm. Cliche, but who was I to talk to about? What? They didn't get into that? The mission starts as Will dropping off them. Alright, let's go to Max Payne. Former very deductive. I feel like I need to play the game just to explain what I was talking about. Shit, I could do that right now. I could probably finish it in one sitting. Should have become framed for the murder of his partner, Alex Balder. To kill him, he spent 2 nights hunting down both track. It was just upon with the bigger force controlling the scene, he managed to survive the inner circle hunt down CEO of Azure Corporation when responsible for Max's death. Spider acquitted within my PD, spent his days hunting criminals and having nightmares. However, Mona Sachs. Hillary Winterstar and Mona. Hmm. Childhood. Meeting Michelle. Payne Residence Massacre. Hunting down Pacino. End of a Vendetta. Finishing off the Russians. This was the second game when you finish off the Russians. Leaving the NYPD. And I'm assuming this is where the third game takes place. Behind the scenes, bullet time, modeling, voice acting. Appearance, personality, murdered victims. New life. Behind the scenes. True enemy. Found the murderer's wife. Asgard building. The game got into a lot of the Ragnarok references. I swear they were doing rituals in the game too. That you stumble upon.